Well, good morning. I say good morning, but I'm thinking in my head it's probably nighttime there in the USA. How are you, friends? Welcome to another Essential Stencil live DIY, and we're going to be giving you all our best stenciling tips today. So I can't wait to get started. If you're watching the replay, don't forget to comment the word replay as you watch, because you'll get another chance to win a prize. So hi everybody. Hi Dawn, Ellen. Let us know where you're watching from, and if you would be so kind to share this live and let everyone know that we are live and showing our project today. Just going to scroll to where I can see the live on, Facebook's not showing me some things here for a second. Just a minute, making sure I'm in the right place. Hi Renee and Cindy, Cheryl's here. I'm so excited about what we're going to be doing today, guys. And who's in the Stencil of the Month Club? Ellen's from Washington State. Did you see my post? Now, if you're not in the Stencil of the Month Club, you probably don't know that I designed the month of June stencil set that you'll be delivered for June. I can't remember when shipping starts, but that's exciting. So it's got a grandparent theme to it. So for those of you who want to make signs for the kids' grandparents, or if you are a grandparent yourself, you'll find this one a lot of fun. Just trying to fiddle around here on my laptop so I can see comments, because Facebook doesn't let me see all of the comments. I can see people popping up. Hi Penny, hi Terry. So we're going to be playing around with some words and fonts today. I don't know if you saw the description in the description of the live. And guess what? Remember last week, or was it the week before, that I showed you this cloud, and it was just stained like this on both sides with it's pine board that someone cut out, because I found this just at a thrift store. So you would be surprised the kind of things that you can find at thrift stores, op shops we call them here in Australia. What you can find that you can stencil on. So there's signboards that you can repaint over, even canvases that you can repaint over. Or I've shown you how to recreate canvas frames by taking off the canvas and putting another board backing on. Thank you so much for sprinkling the love, guys. That's amazing. So we're going to be doing my cloud stencil today. And if you don't have this stencil set yet, this is just one of the ones I'll be using. You'll need to get a pen and paper today, guys, because I'm going to be using a bunch of different, you know how I love to combine stencil sets, a bunch of different sets. So get your pen and paper, write these down. There are only a few of these ones left to order before they have to restock those. So they're almost out, but this is the one that I'll start with. And I thought I'd use this one for my cloud today. I'm just going to pop over and do the little share button myself. So if you wanted to do that, I can share this to my group. Now on my page is, on my business page is called I Restore Stuff. So that's just at I Restore Stuff. And anywhere that you are on social media, you can also, let me see, there it is. My group is called I Restore Stuff, you can too. And I mainly upcycle furniture and home decor and things like that. So I just hit post to post that in my group, so my group can see that I'm going live on the Essential Stencil page also. Alrighty, this is the first sign that we're going to be doing, and it's called the Be Kind set. Just a few left. It's a 2-pack sign. And now one of the things that I'm going to be talking to you about on the rest of the live, as we will do this one first on the cloud, is these signs with the words with these little flourishes that go either side of them. I don't know if you call them flourishes. I think in the font world, in typography, they call them glyphs. It's just that extended letters that poke out there, and you see them on some signs these days. They look lovely. We're going to be doing some fun things. Can't wait to show you. You know how I love to experiment. So if you are a stenciler, you might, if you think, yep, I know all there is to know about stenciling, you might learn something today. Who knows? All right, so I've got my big puffy cloud, and I've just kind of done a bit of a textured brush randomly round and round in circles with the white to cover the stained board that it was. Okay, so then I just have to I could either add holes here and add some rope to go to the top, but because it's kind of a cloud shape, I thought it'd be great for a kid's room. Now, if you are in the Stencil of the Month Club, I saw lots of different ideas for words that you could put on clouds in the Stencil of the Month Club. In the regular stencil site, you will see a few, and this one was one of them that I thought might be great. It's the thought I had was that in a world, well, the saying is this: in a world where you can be anything, be kind. And I just thought that's such a great reminder for kids, for a kid's room, even for my own room, you know, anyone really, but to just have that as they're dreaming about life and all that they can be. You know, you've got these, they might have these goals and visions set up for themselves. Well, it's just a good reminder for them that in a world where you can just be anything, meanwhile, while you're dreaming about anything and everything, be kind. Just be kind. Wouldn't that be nice? If the world was just a kind, kind place all the time. Okay, pop my glasses on so I can see. Joy is excited. I can see the comments now because she got a big shipment of stencils today. I'm so excited for you, Joy. That's amazing. All right, going to use my stencil brush. Now, Essential Stencil has a bunch of different brushes. I'll save that bigger one for later. Might use sort of the medium size, the 5/8 inch. So they come in 4 different sizes. I've tried to flatten my piece of paper here. I'm working at the kitchen bench today. I don't know if you've noticed my change of scenery. I just thought, well, it's the kitchen bench. I can always just wipe it down if I get paint on the side. Now, if you wanted to, you could use a little bit of painter's tape. Let's just pop a bit of that either side. You want to center your sign so that it's in the middle of your cloud. And I'm just going to use this acrylic paint, and I'm just going from the lid, taking from the lid here. I've shaken the paint bottle up. I want to wipe that paint off on the side a little bit, but I want to just mostly, I hope you can see that there, offload is what we are doing here. Offload the paint onto the paper, and you want to offload as much as you can. Now we've got these tiny words at the top. I'm not sure if you can see it close up there, but you'll be able to see it once I start stenciling. Now, because I have got, so we'll go over the basic stencil work here. So meanwhile, the rest of you who are expert stencilers will be learning something in just a minute, and you might want to get your pen and paper ready or a little notepad on your phone somewhere if you can do that at the same time. I'm not sure. But I've got a bunch of different stencil sets that I have this idea for that I want to show you, with words and fonts and splitting stencils and adding words in, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So get your pen and paper ready, because I'll be letting you know what stencil sets that you can do these ideas with. And it's some of the ones that have these, what we call these flourishes or glyphs, I think they're called, on the letters. That's that sort of trail, makes a nice flowy feeling to the font or the word. Okay, the board, Connie's asking where this board came from, and now you can just cut these boards out yourself, and I just got this one from an op shop, we call them in Australia. I think the word comes from opportunity shop, and it's just a thrift store, charity store find. And so I do that a lot, is I just go scouring those places to see what things I could stencil. I think we've talked about this before, but people are mentioning, even in the Stencil of the Month Club, how the price of wood has kind of skyrocketed, and so there's so many different recycling ideas of recycling signs even. You know, I've found some in the thrift stores, some old signs that just someone's getting rid of, and I don't like the sign particularly, but you know, you can just sand it back a bit, paint over it, and make something brand new. So here's our cloud sign today, and like I said before, stay tuned. We always give away prizes at the end of our live, don't we? And I'd love you to sprinkle the love. Thank you to those who have done that already. If you know anyone who's a DIYer, maybe you could even message it to them. You can do that with the share button also. Let them be watching at the same time. Okay, see how super quick and easy that was to do that. I use a bit of a swirly method in those larger spaces. You can kind of go, you know, back and forth, but I generally do a bit of a swirling motion. And the only reason I can do that is because I have removed most of the paint. Oh, I think I may have had a little bit too much. If you have too much paint on your brush, it causes bleeding under the stencil, and it's a bit tricky to kind of remove that. So, all right, so there's, we're done. Just going to do a little bit splotching there. And let's see if we can just remove that and have this sign. So I thought that'd be a nice sign. This one's the Be Kind set, so it's got 2 stencils to this set. Let me pop that over in the sink. And again, it's got these cute little flourishes. That's handy being right beside the kitchen sink. Oops. And I can just pop the plug in, fill it with water, and it can be going. So there's our cloud. Wasn't that quick and easy? In a world where you can be anything. So while the kids are dreaming about all that they can be, I don't know, tell me in the comments, what did you dream of when you were a kid? What did you dream of being? And did your dream become a reality? Did you, you know, when you're a kid, dream of being a fire person, fireman, firewoman, or a police officer, or a nurse, or a doctor? And, you know, did it come reality? But in a world where you can just be anything, be kind. I love it. And so that is going to be a great for a kiddie's room. So let's get on to the fun stuff and do some more with possibly that sign. But the idea came from when my husband had this idea, actually. I'll pop this back behind here. He said, thank you, of just splitting some words up and creating this fun idea. So here's one idea that we could do. And so we're not going to do this exact idea. But we got this gather word. This is from one of the most popular stencil sets to date, is the Welcome Farmhouse Gather Farmhouse Sign set. It's probably one of Essential Stencil's original classics. It's got the Welcome, Gather and Farmhouse. And so what I did was I used the word gather, put some tape on, and then split the word a little bit, moved it down and split it a bit further, just to get that, I don't know, it's a little bit different, isn't it? Just to have that split in the sign. So that got me thinking of another idea, pop that aside, of how to split some other things. So we're going to do one sign with using the seasonal icons, and then we're going to do one with words. So hopefully it'll all work out. All right, guys, so this is the seasonal icons set. Now these come, it's a set of 12, and can you see the welcome vertical sign right down here on the side? They're meant to kind of go with that, but you can use them with any of the vertical signs actually, because wherever you see the letter O, you can just replace that. Like for the home, you know, the word home sign, you can replace the word letter O for some of these seasonal icons. So I want to use the seasonal icons today and just show you how you can split up a word. I don't know whether to show you the one that I practiced on last night first or just go for it, but I'll show you the idea. So there's a pineapple. Yeah, here's what we'll do. I'll show you what we're going to do. Here's what I made last night in my experimenting. So I used the seasonal pineapple to split that apart and added the word sweet from the Home Sweet Home set. Is it the home set? It's called the Home 6-pack. Okay, so that's the set. Get your pens and papers out because I'm going to write down some stencils that you may already have or that you may want to get. So this is the Home 6-pack. So you just type in the search bar in essentialstencil.com home. Don't forget to use my code IRestoreStuff, or use my links in the description of the live, and you can get 10% off your order. So I used, it's got 6 in the pack, but see these words, this is what I was talking about at the beginning of our live, is these words that have this little extra flourish or glyph on either side look really great on some signs, like it does on this one, Home Sweet Home. And I've used the pineapple and split that apart to create, and then added the word sweet in there, because pineapples are sweet, right? Okay, so there's that idea. That's what I did with the pineapple. So I thought for my little board here, and let me just pop the lid on that. And I I may need the black paint later, so I'll just pop it in my wet cloth. And I will get another stencil brush ready. And we'll be using white paint on this. It's just a stained plywood board. So that's just plywood here. I've just stained the front. And we'll use a white acrylic paint. Okay. So here's one idea. I'll just pop that there. See if we can move it down a little bit further. So today I thought I'd use the sunflower. So my board, someone's going to ask me the size of the board, and it's around about the same size as the actual stencil, which is 9" by 7" on these seasonal icons. Okay, so that's the size of the stencil, but the sunflower itself is, I'm in Australia, so we use centimetres, but we'll use inches for my USA friends there. It's about 6 inches and 6 inches across it, so it's circular. But because we're going to split this, see how this is rectangular? You sort of need that extra room. So I wouldn't choose something that's square. I would choose a board that's just a little bit longer, so we can split that and make the sunflower go into 2 parts, okay? So the word I wanted to, here's some other. So I thought I'd point out some of the other Essential Stencil packs that have these words that have got the little flourishes on them, the extra glyph. So Grace in this set has that little extra glyph there. You could think of something that you might use the word grace for. You could do that maybe with the heart. You know, you could split that heart. Or, we've got the sun, we've got the USA flag, we've got the little St. Patrick's, we've got the leaf. There's a whole bunch of different ones you could use, but that's a word there that you can use. There's also, the set that this is from. So if you've got your pen and paper there, this is the other one. It's the Be Still set. So if you've got that one, write that one down. And the Be Still set has 3 sets in it, but that's actually got the word grace that's got the little flourishes. That works great for the seasonal icon idea. The other set, which I'll be using today, is the Positive Sayings 6-pack. That's it there. And you'll notice it's got the word blessed that has those little flourishes on the sides. Okay, whoop, there we go. So what we're going to do with that is use that as in between for the sunflower, and I'm going to split the sunflower. So you could just put it straight on top, but I just like this fun idea of splitting the stencils. And in a minute, if we have time later, I will do the word. I'm going to do a word on the black cardstock here that we can split and put another word in between. So let's go ahead and do this. So what I'm going to need is some tape. I might stand up for this because my chair is a little bit awkward, not enough knee room at our kitchen bench for these bar stools. What I want to do is put the word in first because I want that to be completely centered, and I'm going to just tape off, too much. Tape off the letters or the words that I don't want my brush to be going on. I probably could have made that a bit longer. I'm just going to rub it on here so it's not so sticky. Okay, and then, I was wondering where our little tape went to. So that's in the center of my board. Thank you so much, Judy, for sprinkling. Oh, I'm missing some comments here. Sorry, I will get back to your comments in a minute. So the Be Kind stencil, Essential Stencil, has put that on the top there. There aren't very many of those left. That's the one we did with the cloud, the very first thing I did live when we got on here. So we're just using the word blessed for this idea. Oh, I've noticed there's a little, just on the stencil, there's a little thing that wasn't taken. It just didn't get removed properly. You know the little plastic in the stencils? Every now and then just a little bit on there. Okay. Got it. So I'm just using some white acrylic paint, dip my brush in the ends. I've hardly got any on my brush. So now I'm going to swirl that around on the paper here to work that into the bristles. And I'll show you that. So it looks it kind of looks dry actually, like there's not very much in there. We'll see how we go. We can always add more. If we don't have enough, we can always add some more. I think we might have enough. So again, we're using the seasonal icon stencils. Just add a little bit more there, wipe it off, and then rub it onto my paper to offload as much as we can. There we go, it's a bit better. Seasonal icons plus this blessed word from the Positive Sayings 6-pack. And it just says Simply Blessed. I feel like I need a little bit more paint on there. But like I said before, when I'm stenciling, I always would prefer to have less than too much, because too much you get, you know, bleeding under the stencils, so we don't want that. Okay, we've got the word blessed happening. So there it is in the center. And now we're going to do our splitting of the seasonal icon to create over the top of here. So I want to find, I'm trying to think whether to do it, split it just directly across there. So this is, I would always make sure that this is dry first, okay? So this has pretty much gone on raw wood, and I've used so little that the paint is fine. I think that I'm just going to go straight across there. And I'm just measuring first. I'm not actually sticking it down because I want to take a lot of the stickiness off this tape so that it's not going to, you know, pull up any of the paint. And if we weren't on a live right now, I would definitely leave that a little bit of time to dry. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just tape this down on the board, and this is just removing a bit of the stickiness, or you could tape it to your cloth on your fabric, and it just removes a lot of that tackiness so that it's not going to be too sticky on the stencil or tear up any paint. Or sometimes the little tiny stencil letters, they're very fragile, and they are quite strong, but I'm just saying you don't want to be lifting and bending any of those things with the tape when you pull it up. So this tape actually fits over that word blessed. So I'm going to put the tape right across here. And at the same time, it's actually holding my stencil in place. So that's a good thing. I want to go over the whole entire thing just with a little bit of white, and then we're going to add some color, the yellow for the sunflower on top of that. So if you do have any questions, let me know. I will jump into the comments every now and then. Sheila says, I've finally figured out that I'm bearing down too hard with my brush. I was having my base coat blend with my stencil paint. Okay, wow, yeah. So that's a good tip there. Don't bear down too hard on your brush. You can just go lightly at first. And because I've got such a large area here, look, I've got hardly any paint coming off my brush right there. So I can afford to get a little bit more paint on my brush. And because this plywood is quite porous, the paint's going to sort of soak in to that. And so I can afford to just get a little bit more paint on the brush and not offload as much, and see how we go with that. So I've added a bit more now, and I'll go into those big, large center bit there. And the reason I'm adding the white first is just to add a little bit of a base coat for when we do our color. So then I won't need as many coats of the yellow, and it sort of, I feel like it sort of lets it pop a little bit more. So if you've just joined me, don't forget to stay for the end, because we do have prizes, a giveaway of stencil sets at the end. And if you have not already, I'd love you to sprinkle the love and let other people know by hitting that little share button, the little sprinkle button down the bottom. That'd be great. Thank you so much. The other way that you can do this is to, instead of putting the tape across there, is just putting it across halfway, and then when you do your second half, lifting it and making it go, and that would make the sunflower bigger. But I think that this will work nicely for the sunflower. See, I did that with the pineapple idea. I didn't kind of cut half of the pineapple. If I joined that and that together, it would be the exact stencil, whereas the sunflower, I'm actually taping across, and we won't see that whole center part of the sunflower. I hope that makes sense. It's just, I don't know if I described that correctly. Oh, thank you, Debbie. Scrolling through these. Someone else has received their stencils this week. That's exciting. So if you are in the Stencil of the Month Club, you would have seen that I designed this June Stencil of the Month set, and I can't wait to show you that. There's some fun ideas for combining grandparent names with some beautiful sayings, and it's going to be fun to be able to show you guys. We showed it in the Stencil of the Month Club, so I'm sure we'll be showing the rest of you shortly. But if you're not in the Stencil of the Month Club, use my code iRestoreStuff and save 50% off your first month. So that's great. Okay, so I do want to use the color, and I think I'm going to use yellow. I've got some bright yellow color here for my sunflower on the outside, and then kind of a brown chalk paint color for these bits on the inside. So I'll do the yellow first, and I'm just going to use the same brush that I used the white on, because I'm not too worried if it's a lighter sunflower color. If you've just joined me, we have a secret surprise hidden underneath this tape here, and the big reveal is coming up. Don't tell them, guys. Don't tell them. Okay, don't miss it. I've just got a big bit of yellow there, and I'm offloading it onto the side here. You can see I've just used the same brush, but you can use a different brush if you want to. And I'm just going to do the outside yellow. And I really don't mind a little bit less coverage on some of my stencil ideas, because I do like that rustic farmhousey look. I'm going to flip that upside down. Show you this bit. Okay, whoop. Some of these big bits. When I've got too much paint on my brush, I go for those large stencil bits, the large holes in the stencils to fill, and then I start working towards the edges and the smaller areas. Now you could do, if you were particular, you could tape off the center where you're going to do it a different color, but I'm really not too worried if there's yellow that goes over into those bits, because it can all just blend together. So you could do a second coat on that if you wanted to. I'm just going to leave it like so. Thank you, Tira. She sprinkled the live. If you have no idea what that means, we've just pressed the little share button to let others know that we are live. Okay, I'm using this little bit of a chalk paint. I just use water-based paints because I find that they are so much easier to clean up and to get off your stencils. Here's a little clue as to what we've hidden underneath here if you've just joined us. All right, here's this kind of a mocha color. This is an Australian chalk paint brand that I use. Marty received a May bundle yesterday. Talk about a heavy package. Can't wait to work with them this weekend. The May bundle, how fun. Okay, so I'm using this kind of color, and I realize that it's probably similar color to the wood, so I don't want to go too heavy with it. I think that I might just leave it a bit of a splotchy look. I may even go back over that with white if I think it's going to look a bit too close to the color. Might just do maybe some little yellow splotches in there as well. Doing a little bit of paint color mixing here, just using the same color that I've got on my brush. So I'm just going to do some just speckledy look to give a little bit more of a yellow look over that mocha brown color that I've painted on there. Okay, let's see how we go. I think I've got too much brown up there. It's kind of blending with the yellow now. All right, are we ready for the big reveal? This is our, we've done our first, I did this one last night to show you kind of an idea of what you can do to split up these signs. Okay, so let's see. Hopefully our painter's tape didn't take that off too much, but here is the word blessed in. Now I could have put a little bit more gap, I think, into the sunflower. And to do that, I could have just added a little bit more tape in that area. I could have added 2 tapes like right next to each other just to give that word blessed a little bit more room. I like the idea of adding it a bit more room to that. So there is that idea. How fun is that? Okay, one last idea for us, and I will be using words this time, like big font letter words. So if you've got your pen and paper there still, we've used the seasonal icons. So the sunflower just came from the seasonal icon set. Don't forget to remove your tape, and I'm going to pop that into the kitchen sink to soak in the water there right away. And we also used the blessed word, came from the Positive Sayings 6-pack. So if you don't have that one, go grab that. Don't forget to use my code iRestoreStuff and get 10% off your order. So we just separated that word and just going to pop that into the sink as well to wash that off. So this is the seasonal icon set where I used the pineapple to do that other one. Okay. Next I want to use the board backing that comes with, this actually comes with your stencil sets. So I don't often use these because I do like to store them with the backing there. But occasionally when I've run out of all sorts of boards this size and I find this is the perfect size for this, then I'm going to use it. Oh, here they are. There's all the seasonal icons. So there's one for every month of the year. Lots of different things there. And you can use them with those vertical stencils, like I said. So if you've got your pen and paper to write those down, good idea. All right. This is what I want to try. So remember we are using this set, the Be Kind, and we did our cloud. If you missed the very first part, the Be Kind in a world where you can be anything, be kind. There's my cloud to go in some kid's bedroom to remind them. And this one is the Let All That You Do Be Done in Love, and it's got this word love with these little glyphs on it again. But what I want to do with this is something different. I would like to use some letters. Now I think, you could do, that Essential Stencil has all kinds of letters, so you could do it with all sorts of letters. We've got the 2-inch Roman serif letters. I think there's still some of those in stock. Those are a little bit smaller, so they're the 2-inch letters. There's also, you could have some fun trying to create your own glyph word with the little flourish on it, using these script letters, because that's usually what you would see, these kind of scripty words written with. You can join those together. Now, if you've seen my lives, if you go over to the Essential Stencil, well, right here on the Essential Stencil page, in our video section, you will see playlists. And if you go to my playlist, I'm really sure that I have done one using these letters to show you how to join them together. And it really is as simple as moving the stencil across and letting the L join the M right at that point. So you can use this to create these extra flourishes and extend the letters with a pen or even with a paintbrush. But I'll show you what I want to try and do on here using these letters. This is the A to Z letters, bold letters, 5-inch. Okay, so 5-inch bold letters. If you're writing these down, 5-inch bold letters. Someone can probably type that into the comments to make sure, then you can go back to refer to it. And I'm going to use the word home, which I've prepared earlier, the letters for the word home. What I want to try and do, and I kind of felt like this idea, it may work better if the word love was sort of shorter this way, okay? So, but we're experimenting today. You can try with the other letters, the script letters that I just showed you, to make your own word that might go in here. So just liked the fact that the word love really fits in with the word home and family and all it should be. Hang on, that's a Z, a Z, a Z. Australians say Z. Okay, so we're going to have some people laughing at me for that. All right, so here's the word home, H-O-M-E. Please tell me I've got the right way. Yes, it looks right on the camera. So I want to split this word in two going this way, and then I want to fit the word love in the center across there. So you get my picture? That's the idea I have in my head, guys. Let's see if it works. Yeah, someone mentioned you can save this video. I think that you can do that to your, saved videos list. So what I want to do first is put in the word love in the center, because that's going to be the center. So imagine we're doing this on a sign, but I just have my cardboard. So I could frame it, couldn't I? Can always frame it. So I'm looking for the center for love. I'm not particularly looking for the center for the whole sign, because I'm not going to put these words in it. In fact, I'm just going to tape off that there so we don't accidentally get that. Use my other tape to tape off that. And we're just finding the center for the word love so that it's kind of round about the center of the cardboard. Got it. Okay, so we're going to use white on black because that's just going to be easier to, easier to see. I'll get my white acrylic paint out again and change sides on my paper. This is my offloading paper here right now. Dip my paint in, and I'm just wiping it off on the edge. Here's our other projects from before. So I'll show you all at the end. I'll show you what we've done today. We've done a few things. Yeah, Chris Ann mentioned the Ray Dunn style letters as well. We've got this, I think they're called skinny letters in the Essential Stencil site. So if you're looking for those, that's what they are. All right, just doing a bit of swirling here. I feel like I haven't got enough paint on my brush. So dip it in again. Offloading, working it into the bristles on my paper. Oops, sorry that you can't see that probably. Okay, whoop. I have to keep scrolling to find the comments because they disappear. Thank you, Brenda. You're so kind. If you are watching the replay, you can comment the word replay for a chance to win another prize within 24 hours after the live. So those of you watching live, you can even watch it again if you don't win. So we've got 3 prize winners for the end of our live here. Yeah, Essential Stencil has pinned this Be Kind stencil. Oops. Into the comments so that you can easily tap the link to find that. But if you've got your list handy, I have used quite a few stencil sets today and given you some ideas of how to use these to split your pictures or split your stencil words and things to create a whole new sign look. So just when you go to Essential Stencil, make sure you either use the link in the description of the live here or use my code, I Restore Stuff, at the checkout to get 10% off your order. And that includes the brushes too. So we've got Essential Stencil brushes and they come in a set of 4. Great value. Okay. Whoops. Okay, moving that off, we can see now that our word love is right there nicely. It's sort of in the center. I think the L is a little bit high. So if I was doing this again, I probably would measure it. You can kind of see it's almost centered. So now I want our word home. And for this idea, what I was going to try and do is create the home with white and split that apart. And then go over the word love with just a pewter, kind of a soft grey colour to make a subtle difference. And we're going to see that the word love will in fact go into the word home. Okay, so bear with me. What I need to do now is get my home letters and make sure that I've got the tape in the center of each letter, okay? So to do this, I'm going to actually, let's just see if I can get some of the sticky off that. I'm looking for the center of that middle line. So I don't want to put the whole tape in the center. I want to find the center of the middle space so that I've got that across there. So see how it's halfway across the center part here? So there's one, and the letter O. Around about that much. Removing some sticky. Look, I could do it on this, couldn't I? And that would make it the exact same each time. So we're going to be stenciling that lower half first, and now I've got it in exactly the same place as the H. Whoop. Now the M. Who else wants to try this idea? You could try using your own words, like I was saying with that serif font, or what do you call it? The handwriting font, I think you call it. Oh, I think one of these is slightly crooked. Can't have that. Might be the O. Tammy said, beside the seasonal icons, what were the other set of stencils? Yeah, does anyone remember? You can write those in the comments if you remember, but the ones, I just found any of my stencils that have this little flourish on it. So this was the Home Pack, and this one was the there's Be Still, which also has Grace, and this one had the Blessed, which is the Positive Sayings set. Okay. Make sure our M is now centered. We've got a stripe across it. Oops, they're stuck together. Did I forget to remove the sticky from that? This is the one that I feel like it's slightly crooked. I'm going to have to do it again. It'd be weird if I had a crooked O. So, try again. Okay. And then the letter E. Removing the sticky off it by sticking it onto my fabric. Then using this as a guide. Okay, let's see how this works, shall we? So, of course, these letters all cross over each other. And we've got this taped off, this top half taped off. So I want to put the, how am I going to do this? I need a bit of a ruler. Let's try the ruler trick. I don't have a pencil, but my halfway point is the 6-inch. Let's put it onto here. See how much I want my H to come, or my word home to come across the letters of love. And I think they'll let the L come across. So maybe 7.5. I'll bring it up to the 5 and the 7 maybe. Let's do that. See if I can see those. You probably can't see those out to the side, but I've got these little guides that I'll use my ruler and my eye to kind of guide me there. 5-inch and 7-inch. But you can do your own thing, you know, feel free to just do it however you want to. And now I have to probably, when we're doing letters, I always usually start with the center letters first. So we've got, they're all, let's see if they're all about the same width. M is usually wider. See, M's a lot wider. E is the same, that's a bit narrow. No, maybe it's the same as the H. It's a little bit about the same as the H. So the M, we're going to need to move across this way slightly. So our M, if we're looking at the center, and then what I'm going to do is get this ruler to where that 5-inch mark was at the sides, and I want to move my sign down to around about there. See where I've gone across there? Okay, and then I've got the O. So if I start at the center, then I can work my way out, just kind of making sure that I've got these all around the right way, that they all going to fit. Okay, I think it's a plan. Let's see if the plan works. We'll start with the M and get two pretty well used tapes. And I'm just going to tape them down very gently, just so that doesn't move anywhere. Again with our white paint. Someone just said, I love the way you think, Sharon. Oh, Elisa, was it? In my brain, I'm not sure I'm thinking that either, that about myself. I'm like, oh gosh, am I making sense even? Thank you. Okay, so we've got our white paint here, and I'm just going to, you know, this is just on a cardboard. We don't have to keep it, but cardboard's always a great idea to practice your stenciling on, regardless. Imagine this on a lovely signboard. You could do all sorts of colour combinations with this too. But I do love the stark contrast. Oh, there we go. We've just messed up my cardboard with some white splatters. Okay, so do not touch the top half because we're going to do that in a minute. Here's me hoping that this doesn't tear the cardboard. Okay, so we'll leave our M up here for a moment. Now we've got our O for the home. And so I'm lining up that center of the tape. Oh, I hope I can say at the end of this, I love it how a plan comes together. Who is that from? That's Mr. T from the A-Team. Did anyone ever watch that? I love it how a plan comes together. All right. Please tell me I'm spelling my word correctly. Oh, does anyone remember that little faux pas? I almost got it wrong on my little suitcase that I was revamping with a stencil. Had my words all back the wrong way. H-O-M-E. We're good. All right, so there's our O. Getting a little bit faster at this. Just removing that really gently. Even though I've tried to remove most of the sticky off it, it's still a little bit sticky. Okay, lining up again that tape with the O, making sure our gap is a little bit similar each side and that's all looking straight. And again, we can just press those lightly there to make sure it stays down secure. Someone just said, I think this looks a bit intimidating. Well, if you just kind of plan it out in your head and just experiment, I think it's a bit of fun. You can add to so many different ideas to your stencil repertoire then. You like triple your stencil abilities with combining all the different things that you can, or different stencil sets, different letters. Okay, so there's the H and the O and the M, and we'll pop our E, lining up the guide there, making sure we've got about the same amount of distance. Plus, I like to give you all a challenge. Some of you have been stenciling for years, and so I kind of feel like maybe you need to do something different and try something different. So that's what these ideas are all about. Thank you guys so much for your encouragement and for letting me be your, for allowing me to experiment on you. My ideas, my crazy ideas. Okay, here's the word, there's the word home, and we've got the word love in the middle. Now we've got to shift our tape, okay? So we're just shifting the tape on each of the letters, and you'll be able to see where it was on the bottom section because you can see the line where the paint is. Okay, so just move it to the other side. So there's our E, done. Don't know if I needed that. The letter M, See these are really thin, these little bridges they're called. So just make sure you're holding that down when you remove your tape. That's what I meant before about just being really gentle and trying to remove the sticky off your tape so that it doesn't pull really hard on that stencil. Okay, so again, we can just move that to exactly where the paint was here, and we've got our M ready. Up that way. Letter O, being gentle again, removing that, popping it on the other side. So we've just split our letters in half, and now we're going to do the top half, stenciling the word home, moving it down to the lower half there. Again, I'm going to start with the letter M. And on this one, we are going to cover a little bit more of the word love, okay? So I'm going to start around about here. Now I can use this as a guide to show me where the letter M started off there. And it is going to blend in a little bit more to the word love, but that's why I'm going to go over the word love again at the end to show you how we can use that grey, soft grey colour. It's like a pewter colour to really make the word love pop out. So now we're doing the top half, remember? You know, when I try these things, I secretly in my heart go, oh, gosh, I hope this works. But that's the scary but the fun part about just experimenting with ideas. And if it doesn't work, just try another piece of cardboard, really. Or if it's a sign that you've painted, don't be worried if it all doesn't work out. You can always just sand it back, start again. Okay, here is the letter M. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so far so good. There's M. Now we need to line up O. Whoops, where am I going? So we've got the tape here. I've got to line the tape up with the M's letters, and also making sure that I've got the O in about the right place. You can see the M finishes here, the O will finish there. So it's around about the right place. Let's just go for it. And you can see that I'm going right over the word love that we did in the middle. And you can place these differently, and I feel like probably those bottom letters should have been, bottom half of the letters should have been up a little bit further, but you can change it all up with the next one, and the next one will look different. That's the thing with handcrafted signs and things. Everyone's just going to look a little bit different than somebody else's, isn't it? Oops, we've got just one little stencil brush there, bristle. Can still see the word love through the letter O there. So okay, I think it's looking great so far, so good. So we're lining up our tape here with our letter H. We lined it up there, and we're lining up the top. Whoops, probably should come just down a fraction. Dipping, wiping off, offloading the brush as much as we can. Can't wait to see how it all works out in the end. So we've done a couple of signs today. We did our cloud to start with. So if you missed my wooden cloud that I found in an op shop, you can go back and watch the replay. Don't forget to stick around to the end. We've got some prizes to give away to 3 lucky winners. And we created a couple of small signs using the seasonal icon stencils that you can find on the Essential Stencil page. Use my code IRestoreStuff. Get you 10% off there. Oh, how are we going, guys? I think it's working out. So see how I might just pop that little word there out a little bit further. Okay, so lining up my green tape with the M here, I'll move it across so you can see that a bit better. And then lining it up the E. So remember our E was down here, so we're moving it up here to split the word. Get our ducks all lined up in a row. I think I've got enough on the brush to do a bit more. I need a bit more. How are we going? You're still with me, guys. I haven't had a chance to look at the comments to see how you're going. I hope it's not too, yep, someone says it seems a bit intimidating, but think it's time to give it a shot. Good on you. I love the attitude. You know, our little cloud saying that we did before, what was it? In a world where you can be anything, be kind. I think sometimes we need to be kind to ourselves, and even if things don't work out, be kind to yourself. Don't stress. All right, how's that looking? Wow, so see how if I just get the word love now and create a little bit of a pop with the grey colour that I'm thinking of. See how that works. I may even create a bit of a shadow to make it stand out. Yeah, I'm happy with that little experiment. Honestly, some of these things come together at the last minute and I panic about what I'm going to do. Then I pray. Seriously, I pray and go, oh God, I need a stencil live for tomorrow. And it all seems to come together in the end. So, all right. This is a color called Pewter, so it's a really light grey. I won't offload it. I am using the same brush actually, so it's got the white on it. Can you see where I'm offloading there? So it's a soft grey. Oh, I've got to get my sign ready. I'm using the word love. Where did it go? Here it is. So this is the Be Kind set. There's only a few of these left. I think there was like 13 in the shop or something. So grab those. If you wanted this set with this beautiful word love, you can use with anything else. But it's from the verse in Corinthians, let all that you do be done in love. I'm going to put that over the word love again, and I'm going over it with this grey, and what I want to do is create a bit of a shadow, slight shadow effect by moving the stencil slightly up, slightly across. Any way across, it doesn't matter, but I just kind of usually slightly up, slightly across, okay? That's as easy as it is, and ever so slightly. I don't even know if you can see how slightly I've moved that, but we're going to go with that. And so that white on the edge should make it pop, but also the grey that I'm using to go over the top should hopefully make the word love stand out over the word home. And so should love stand out in our homes. Am I right? Okay. Wow, that was quick and easy. Hopefully I didn't have too much on my brush then. I kind of felt like that was a lot. So if there's any bleeding, oh well, that's what I say. Okay, let's see how that worked out. Oh, I love it. I love it. Right, how's that, guys? All right, we are getting ready really soon for picking our prize winners. And while Essential Stencil is popping the prize winners up, I'm going to show you what we made today, because we've done a fair few things, but I love that technique. And so I was really excited to show you that today. So let me just pop my lid on, put my paintbrush in the water, and show you our two little signs that we created. So I did this one last night as a bit of an experiment. That was my only shot that I got at doing this idea that I had in my head, is by splitting the pineapple and putting the word sweet in under there. If you go back in the live, you'll be able to see all of the different stencil sets we used for that. And then we did this today. So I used the seasonal icon set, and then the word blessed came from one of the small mini stencil sets, the sayings stencil set. And then the very first thing I did today was I used this wooden cloud that I found in a thrift store to add this from the Be Kind set, and that's the one that's attached there in the comments that Essential Stencil put there. But I think we've got some winners now, guys, okay? And then the last thing we did was we created this split word. So we've got the word home and the word love, and we've split the letters and created that. I do think that I would love to see, like I think that I probably would have centered that love if I would do it again a little bit more and just brought it down a bit. And just imagine all the colors that you could use with that combination. So let me just announce our winners today. Super excited for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. We've got Brenda, Chris, and Teresa. Thank you so much. There's instructions right there where they've tagged you, where Essential Stencil has tagged your name to go and claim your prize. Let them know where to send it. And please follow me at I Restore Stuff on all of the social media platforms. You can see my video tutorials on my YouTube channel, my blog. Follow me on Instagram, even TikTok, guys. If you're hanging out there, that's where I am too. But I'll see you next week for another Essential Stencil Live. That's all from me today. Use my code IRestoreStuff to get your 10% off and 50% off your first month in the stencilofthemonthclub.com. See you next week. Bye.